I'm Erica Natividad, currently in front of probably the last place you'll want to be after your Super Bowl party tonight. This is York Regional Police's brand new ride truck. It debuted on the streets of York Region last night and will be out tonight cracking down on impaired drivers. YRP showed off the new ride on Twitter yesterday with this polite announcement. The Super Bowl will not be airing in our jail cells tonight, adding the best way to avoid being one of our guests is to have zero alcohol or drugs in your system. Hashtag reservations not required. So, Constable, this is what someone would see when they walk into the ride truck, right? Walk me through the process.
Correct. So, arrested for impaired driving offense, they would come into the back, potentially have a phone call to a lawyer in a private phone booth back there. Then they would be brought forward here to have a seat in front of the intoxilizer where a qualified technician would obtain the breath samples. So essentially sitting here, providing the tube where a person would provide a breath sample into the intoxilizer to determine their blood alcohol concentration with this particular instrument right here. Okay, so they'll do this test, but if you want to test for, let's say, drug use, maybe marijuana or cocaine, how do they do that? So there's two ways of doing that, but we do have a new oral fluid screening device, the new approved drug screening equipment in our possession here, and that's this particular device right here, excuse me, the Drug Test 5000. So this is able to test for the presence of THC, the active ingredient in cannabis, and cocaine as well in testing your oral fluid. How many officers would be on a truck at one time? Generally, there are 5 to 6 officers working a ride deployment out on the roadway at any given time. And so all of this is set up so that officers can essentially process you right on the spot. Correct. This is our home away from home. This is our mobile workstation where we can take care of everything we need to do and get the officers back out on the road as quickly as we can. The mobile breath testing unit is completely self-sufficient with breath technicians and a drug recognition expert always available. Now joining me live is Police Constable Reed Holland. Constable, what is a drug recognition expert and how are they better able to determine if somebody is impaired? So we're officers that have special skill sets and training that allows us to recognize the signs and symptoms of drug use in a driver, and we test those drivers to see what's going on within their body. So clinical indicators, psychophysical impairment, a number of things that we're looking for to see if there's impairment, and if so, is it caused by a drug, and what type of drug is causing that impairment. I notice you have your kit right here, so these are some of the things that you're using. Show me what's inside here. Right, so these are sort of the tools of the trade, if you will. So stethoscope and blood pressure cuff, some oral temperature gauge, some lights for checking pens, pen light for checking your eyes, and a number of other tools that we use there for the evaluation. So everything really that you need, and your testimony is admissible as evidence in court. Let's talk about the penalties. If somebody decides to make that terrible decision to get behind the wheel impaired, what's the maximum penalty that they can face? Right, we hope that never happens, but on conviction, fines can start at $1,500 and go up from there. Ultimately, the decision is up to the individual judges, but it can be expensive. Constable, thank you very much. So enjoy your Super Bowl party tonight, but please make sure you have a safe ride home, and if you are impaired, do not get behind the wheel.